wasn't a photographer or a photojournalist who would go for assignment just for the purpose to get photographs, to catch them, to publish them afterwards.
For Marc, independence was the key word. Then he very seldom feel he has to report. He always choose his countries, his subjects very freely. He didn't like to be. Loved to be on speculation. He loved to go where he wanted, where he was interested.
I met Marc at Robert Delpire Publishing House. They were friends, and I was a student and intern at Delpire. So I met him, and I remember I went to work in India for a while, and Marc had a passion for India since he went there in the 50s, and he stayed 1 year in Calcutta. And at the time he said, "Oh, but when you come back, you should come and work with me."
And that meant that he, of course, will contribute the press photographs from the places he went. And but this is what I wanted to expose with this exhibition, and also why to bring it here. It's the exhibition which wants to raise the contemplation or rethinking of how we travel today, why we take pictures, with what attitude, because in a way this is very similar. We travel just so different as we take photographs today as we did before.
And I think the two moments in his life where he really felt like a reporter was when Algeria became independent, 1962, and during the Vietnam War, because he was very touched by the courage.
When he came back from travel, he had the contact sheets at the lab, and then he edited them, so we have marks of red, yellow, green on the contact sheet, so we know which photographs he considered good. Well, as soon as he started his career in Magnum, and he went to travel very quickly, and he was away for a long time, so he was sending back the films to France. So he never printed himself. He had labs printing for him, and he worked with very good printers. This one we like very much, and you chose it for the poster and for the exhibition. It's during a trip Marc made in the 50s from Turkey to India, and of course this one we wanted to show because it's one of the most famous, and probably you've seen it already, and it's quite universal actually. We just published a small book about the history of this photograph that was taken 50 years ago now. So it's a demonstration at the time of the Vietnam War, and we have this young girl, she was 17 at the time only, but she looks very strong. She could look older actually. She's so strong in front of the soldiers who have the same age as her.
And well, for me it's very interesting to examine the relation we have as between the viewer, the photographer, and the subject on the photograph, because as we like to say, photographer is always taking kind of a distance or a relation to the other, the person who is being photographed. And we can very often, of course, with photographers see the kind of, it could be colonialistic, it could be Western, it could be kind of outsider's view of the situation. And this is absolutely crucial for a photographer to try to stay out of what he is, what he knows. Even though Marc was always saying, I am not somebody who pretends to be one of them, one of people I meet anywhere in the world.
Because Marc never photographed really nudes,
yes.
But when we arrived once in Prague, he had to do a nude, and Isabella said, "Oh," and she undressed in 2 minutes and lie there, and we can see Marc was a bit shy and pudic, and it's the cat who made the photo because he is very sensitive.
First place, there was a project Magnum Nude. So Magnum photographers should contribute each a nude. So, and of course, this was it had nothing to do with Marc's work. He didn't take nude photographs. So, but of course, he will do it because he would contribute. So he found a daughter of a friend, asked her to undress, or she did it herself. Well, she keeps the Cartier-Bresson photo poche in her arm, in her hand, which of course shows that this nude should be something more than just a nude, of course, and it's all constructed, and it's one of the rare staged photographs by Marc. Yes. And okay, it should be all well done, but there was a cat just getting into the picture, and she is posing as well as Isabella does, and then this is Marc's photographs because it has humor, it has some lucid moment caught, and this is what really the quality of his work.
It's still the construction of the city of Chandigarh, so it's really the new modern city in northern India that has been photographed by other photographers, but Marc stopped quickly. Unfortunately, he didn't stay so long, but we have some very beautiful photographs of the buildings, and it's really, we can see his taste for geometry is really playing to compose images with the lines, the squares, rectangles. And this is maybe the most important one in this series of photographers being photographed, because it's a photographers rally organized by Fuji. And Fuji hired some models, so you can see them, but hunted by this number of photographers, and it's quite awkward.
Paparazzi.
Yeah, paparazzi, but also you think you could have a prize if you had the better picture of the day or something like that, so everyone's very hectic.
At the end, let me just say thank you. At first, thank you, Marc, for your curiosity. I think he hears this now, and he knows what I'm talking about, and for a huge, really amazing collection of photographs he left to us to exhibit and to admire. Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, Lorène. Our cooperation was really, really inspiring project, which took us a while, took us almost 2 years, but it was very intensive at the end, as I'm used to work like this, so thank you for your patience, and especially for your trust to trust us all those beautiful photographs.